Welcome to our educational seminar on automation, integration, and energy systems. Let us introduce ourselves.
Hi, my name is Perry Ardito. I'm the General Manager for our Warehouse and Automation Products Group.
My name is Kai Beckhaus. I'm heading MCJ Supply Chain Solutions, which is our automation joint venture. Perry, demand for automation was in the media a lot during the pandemic. Why is that? What is the main reason for this?
Well, certainly during the pandemic, we also saw a lot of interest pre-pandemic. We've all seen the effect that automation is having on our daily lives and for a lot of others on their livelihoods. Many industries that we work in, manufacturing, warehousing, distribution, they've all shown a high level of interest in automation and what benefits it may offer them. The automotive industry, they've certainly and always have, for the most part, embraced automation to move components, move parts to assembly cells, and manufacturing across many different segments is looking to embrace automation more fully as the economy continues to grow. Access to labor was a challenge for a lot of our customers. And I'm sure a lot of our customers appreciate and understand the high cost of that labor. Additionally, customers are looking to optimize their supply chain to improve their processes. That goes without saying. Automation allows you to be more predictable in the flow of product and the sources available to support the movement of product.
Good points, Perry. And I think it's a good idea to show our audience a video which explains the AGV system here as well in moving pictures and addresses those different aspects that are important to this system.
The automated guided vehicle systems of Jungheinrich make your internal logistics automatically better. That's because an AGV offers you loads of benefits. Transferring transport tasks to automated guided vehicle systems means reliable support for your employees, great economics, and a high level of safety. Comprehensive security technology is always on board with a Jungheinrich AGV. Security was a matter of priority during the development of the automated guided vehicle systems. That's why the automated vehicles are fitted with comprehensive sensor technology. Laser scanners in the travel direction and additional side sensors help provide object detection during mixed operations. If a person is detected within the scanned field, the system reacts in milliseconds and reduces drive speed. If a person enters a more restricted scanned field, the AGV stops automatically. These protection fields work dynamically. They adjust to the current speed of the automated guided vehicle system. The greater the speed, the wider the field of detection. And even when confronted with unexpected obstacles, the protection fields react by scanning the road ahead. The AGV is also vigilant in its own behavior. It emits visual and acoustic signals when transferring loads, or when interfacing with a rack system, for example. The automated tow tractor emits an acoustic signal before continuing, and then drives at a reduced speed for the first 5 seconds.
So Kai, when customers inquire about a semi or a fully automated solution, usually one of the topics that gets into quite a bit of detail is what is their requirement relative to software. Most customers have their own WMS. Maybe talk about maybe that integration with the customer and maybe some of the solutions that we can provide as well.
Correct, Perry. Software is a really core important part of this system because any automation solution can do a great job fulfilling the operation, but it needs to be told what the next order to do is. And for that, it is very important to early on consider what are the software integration necessities there. And in the world of Internet of Things, you read about that a lot, different cloud solutions, whatever the setup is, but the systems need to talk to each other. And that's what we, in a more traditional world, you would call it a middleware solution, modern language, Internet of Things, connectivity, but it's an integral part of what we are needing to evaluate in any automation solution. And the typical system landscape is you have been talking about the various management systems. Other customers would have this as part of their enterprise resource planning, ERP systems there. And those are the ones that hold all of the data on the inventory and have a list of all of the next orders that needs to be performed. And the next layer then is this middleware to translate that, to make it very easy for the warehouse management system to adapt and achieve that interface. Doing fleet management software then to be able to control the fleet of AGVs and then talk to every single unit and allocate the tasks in an optimal way using algorithms, artificial intelligence, learning system to make the best sequencing and best allocation of tasks. So the system structure is both on server basis that we need to look at with the customers and interfacing on the server, and then in the Wi-Fi, because definitely the AGVs are moving around, other forklift trucks are moving around, so it's very important to look at both sides. The decentral equipment that is moving around, also stationary, the middleware needs to take care of integrating, let's say, a fire door that needs to open for the AGV to pass, other stationary equipment like scanners, pallet-occupied sensors to identify whether a pallet is ready for pickup. And there's really different ways that you need to evaluate there how the order is to be sent to the AGV system.
Yeah, I would think that most companies or customers' IT departments sometimes are hesitant to open up their platform to a third party. But I think with our logistics interface, our middleware, it's designed to be simple and less obstructive, if you will. So I think maybe you could speak to some of the experience in having that discussion with a customer and easing them, if you will.
It is very important that the IT is always evaluated as an important resource here. It's important that this function makes it very easy to the IT to really connect. So the middleware is a connector, first of all, to make sure we have the ability to interface between the systems, but there's other functions to it too. So besides connecting, it's also managing the process. And that applies, Perry, to not only the AGVs, but there is also the semi-automation that you have referenced. So turret trucks, order pickers that can be operated semi-automatically. We have even the low-level order pickers with the Easy Pilot can stop at the next location and have the data from the warehouse management system transferred. Reach trucks can stop at the correct height. So all of those functions can be connected here with the middleware, our Jungheinrich logistics interface. The customers that we have worked with really appreciated that we take the load of all of this integration, and the customers have as little effort to send us the data in whatever format they want to, and we have done hundreds of projects there worldwide. Right. Let's move on to the last part of our educational seminar, Perry, talking about the energy system. There is a lot of different things that we also need to consider when we talk about lead-acid, lithium-ion, what's the best energy system, auto charging. So what are important factors for our audience to consider choosing and selecting the right energy system for their application, Perry?
Well, I think the biggest benefit to our customers is that we provide them with options. So you alluded to lead-acid batteries, lithium-ion batteries, and the associated chargers to go with those. It's really determined by the customer's preference and or their application. You know, whether it's a manual forklift or a automated forklift, the energy, that battery on board, no one really wants to have to deal with the maintenance, the ongoing service, the costs associated with lead acid. So by and large, we're seeing more of our customers who are embracing automation also going to lithium-ion, especially those in multi-shift applications, because it really takes them out of the servicing or the care of batteries and chargers. So primarily we're seeing lithium-ion batteries that we're employing. Additionally, we also offer automatic or automated charging. Again, another benefit. So it's the system, it's the process that determines when a truck or the battery on that truck needs to be recharged or addressed. So Kai, what's that checklist that most customers are going to have to work through before considering automation?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that is something as a takeaway which is really important to take a look at. And as we have mentioned before, it is really important to address the right questions with your vendors, because it is so important to cover all of the areas, whether it's integration, the service and support that you have mentioned, Perry. And it is really important to make an informed decision for any user that is looking into automation and semi-automation. So let's start looking at the first aspect here. You want to ask on standard product versus a customized product. The advantage with a standard product is always that it is a proven high volume production model, and it can also be applied to a customized application. That's the approach Jungheinrich does. The factory, the parts, all of that is standardized, but it can be customized per application, rather than having a very specialized application, which is also sometimes the right thing to do, where you have a custom-built individual vehicle for just this use case.
So the customer also has to make that decision. We talked about lead acid versus lithium-ion. It's really, again, at the customer's preference. I know that ours would certainly be most often the lithium-ion, because if you're going to automate the trucks, then you can also automate the charging and no battery changeouts as well. So it's a decision that needs to be made, but having the options for the customer allows them to make a choice that they deem to be most beneficial.
And as you know, Perry, IT is my passion there as well, so I am glad to have IT integration as third item here on our checklist. We have been talking about that a lot, and really the bottom line is you don't want to be left alone at the end coordinating the systems. IT folks blaming the vendor of the automation equipment, whatever. It needs to be a hand-in-hand approach, that the systems talk to each other and you have reliable interfaces for all of those. That's a very important aspect. Also from the timing and the amount of work and specification that needs to be done in this sector, that is in some projects, as we learned, underestimated. So we really recommend to spend some time and making clear statements on who is responsible for what part of the IT integration.
Yeah, and it's as important to migrate all that into the trucks, into the solution, so there's peace of mind, I trust, for most customers having that single source solution. One of the questions that we often get asked regarding batteries or the energy is the efficiencies of the trucks and efficiencies of the energy being provided. You know, on our manual trucks, of course, we offer a very exclusive guarantee, a 2-shift, 1-charge guarantee. And all that simply means is that you're going to run or be able to run your vehicles up to 16 hours on a single charge. And that applies to our AGVs as well. So for those customers that don't want to make the leap towards lithium-ion and they want to stay with lead acid, they're still going to get the benefit of efficiencies of that 2-shift, 1-charge guarantee.
We have discussed a lot about the selection process, Perry, and what are important steps during the implementation phase. So let's now take a look at the last 2 items on our checklist, which relate to the phase after the project implementation. And I would like to point out to our audience how important it is to really align your service and support requirement. If you have a 24/7 application, it is so important to have engineering support there. You do not want a call center answering and only dropping a ticket and someone in 3 business days later addressing that issue.
On the hardware side, we're very fortunate to have an expansive dealer network throughout North America, upwards of 350 to 370 locations, and their responsibility would take on the hardware, the truck itself, if you will, to do regular PMs, to change out wheels and any other components that may have failure. And I think as importantly, Kai, on the software side, the level of support that's offered, because the software is the driver of the system. And if the software fails, that customer needs immediate access to experts. And maybe, we're fortunate here in Houston to have one of the 3 expert hubs strategically placed around the world to support those customers anywhere in the world 24/7. So maybe speak to the capabilities of our expert hub here in Houston.
We have established an expert hub in Houston, which is responsible for all of the automation AGV implementations in North America. Jungheinrich has a structure where it looks at 3 different time zones, really. It's the Americas, it's the EMEA region and APAC region, and we see the importance to have local engineering. So even though Jungheinrich is a German company. It is a very international setup, and all of the projects in North America are fully supported here out of Texas, Houston. And it is so important for us to be in the same time zone and having close contact to the customers to guarantee all of those aspects.
And I think for customers, this automation is a leap of faith. And some of them go in with very high expectations, because we're going to take what has been manual processes for many, many years and now converting those over to an autonomous solution. So they need to have that comfort level that they're going to get the support 24/7, because most applications that make that investment are multi-shift applications. So knowing that they have the hardware support by a local dealer, software support by experts who, when they call in, those are experts that answer the phone. It's important for those customers, and we certainly appreciate their concern, and that's why it's top of our discussion initially as to how we can support those customers as they look to change out processes.
I would suggest we show our audience a testimonial video showing how successful the integration of all of those aspects we have covered, which is automation, integration, and also the energy systems, can be.
Trump's Smart Factory was put in place to have a demonstration facility for autonomous operations. We've got approximately 24,000 square feet of factory space out here. We also manufacture here, so it's very dynamic for our customers. What we try to describe here at the Smart Factory is how to get the full utilization of your factory. The introduction of the AGVs were really paramount to bring us to the next level in the autonomous operation.
Before the Jungheinrich AGVs, we were using sit-down equipment, forklift drivers, pallet jacks.
On a normal day, we would spend about 3-4 hours maybe a day just moving material back and forth.
Moving material is an indirect process, and you don't get paid for that. Trump's whole philosophy is identify waste and put something in place of it with an automatic process.
Now with the Jungheinrich AGVs, instead of having an operator take his time away from his work center, the AGV is bringing them the product.
It's made our workflow a lot easier. I can just focus on my work area and increase my production time.
My operator is now able to stay at their work center, and I'm seeing an increase in their productivity because they're not leaving their work center to go find a part. The install process is very non-invasive.
In our process here, we have 2 AGVs. With our interlogistics connectivity to our fab software, we know if a machine is available for the next process to happen. And we can see what parts are there moving from one station to the next, which means improved throughput. There's no overburden going on in our facility. We have the right parts and the right machine to produce to meet the customer's order on time.
They make your life a lot simpler, and they're really safe to work around. You don't have to be constantly looking over your shoulder as you would with a normal forklift.
Their tracking is very precise on the floor. We know where they're going. They stop. They have audible sounds as well. Our customers say that's the solution that they need to bring their factory to the next level.
We are proving to our customers that this is the next step in the Industry 4.0, and this partnership with Trump and Jungheinrich is able to take us to the next level of automation.
So we'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we hope that the information that we shared for both full and semi-automation was beneficial. Obviously, there's a lot more information that we'd welcome an opportunity to share with you and visit, or have you come visit us here in Houston at our automation center where Kai and I are currently seated. There's a lot to discuss relative to automation. So do your due diligence, allow us to support you and help you as you consider automation for your current operations, processes. And again, thank you for your time.
Thanks for watching and listening, and we are looking forward to the discussion. Engage in the chat. We are here to answer any questions and to support you.